The one and only Dominick Reyes is here. Hi, Dominick. How are you?
I'm excellent, Luke. How are you doing today?
Oh, terrible. But what else is new, my friend? Are you back? Are you back home? Where are you?
Now I'm sightseeing right now in London.
How is London?
It's pretty cool. It's actually cold, but it's nice. It's a nice city.
It's very expensive. You do know that now, right?
Oh yeah, I've been here for 2 weeks now.
Right on. Well, all right, let's talk about it. How did you feel about your performance from Saturday?
I feel like it was a gut check kind of fight for me. You know, I had to find that next gear. I'm not completely satisfied with my performance. I know I got a lot more to show. But I came away with the win, and that's all that matters.
All right, what went right and what went wrong? Like, give me a sense of, because you got the win, so that went right. But in terms of what you guys had planned and anticipated, let's start there. What went right?
Well, I controlled the distance pretty well. I was my feints and fakes were working, but I think I just gave him, too much respect. To be quite honest, I respected him more than I did my own thing. Instead of just going out and just doing my thing, I was worried about what he was doing and his power and things like that. Ended up working out, but going forward, I'm definitely just going to focus on playing my game.
Why do you think that happened?
I mean, it was a huge profile fight. He was number 2 in the world one fight ago. And I had a lot of respect for him and his power. And I think it was his power in both hands that made me kind of overthink my game plan.
Was his power what you thought in the end? Like, was your expectation of it the reality?
It was, but it wasn't at the same time because he didn't knock me out. So, yeah, he's definitely a powerful guy and he hits very hard, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to put me out.
All right, so let's talk about what went wrong. Like, what did you game plan for that just didn't quite materialize?
That's a tough one. I mean, I pretty much did everything I was game planned to do. I just didn't pull the trigger as much as I would have liked to.
Huh. And again, it went back to just the profile of it all?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was,
you've been on some big cards. I mean, this was a big card, for the place it was in. But, I mean, this isn't like I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it wasn't a huge UFC pay-per-view. You've been on some big cards. I'm a little surprised to hear this, Well,
it wasn't about, like, the card. It was about the opponent more than anything. This is my highest profile opponent to date. I feel like my most dangerous opponent to date. And I kind of overthought things, You don't always have your best performance. Luckily for me, I still came away with the win. You know what I mean? So I'm learning off of the win as well.
How nervous were you when it went to the scorecards?
I mean, anytime it goes to the scorecards, it's always nerve-wracking. I mean, you don't know which way it's going to go ever. So I was nervous.
But I guess, like, when the final bell ended, what were you saying to yourself? Like, I did enough to get that, or I don't know what's about to happen here?
I thought I did enough, and I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. Like, it's not up to me at this point. I did what I could in this fight, and we'll see what the judges have to say about it.
And it didn't look like you had any gas tank issues. You felt good there, right?
Oh, dude. Yeah, I feel like that's what won me the fight. I kept the pressure on him, throughout. As he started winning, I was getting stronger. And I think that's what won me the fight. My gas tank. I feel like my gas tank was leaps and bounds better than it was my last fight.
There's no doubt about it. In fact, I think your gas tank's been good since we've seen you in the UFC. Now, some of your fights have all ended pretty early, but even against St. Preux, you finished strong there as well. Have you noticed that light heavyweights tend to not have the best gas tank?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's tough, man. I mean, being as big as we are and moving, as explosively as we do, it's big energy drains. Almost every movement is an energy drain. I mean, you're a big guy yourself, so when you start doing explosive movements, you get tired quicker than the smaller guys. I mean, it's just the reality of the situation. But,
all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm happy, man. I'm super happy with everything, the way it all came out.
All right, fair enough. Now let's talk about some of the realities of this win. Heading into this fight, you were sitting at, I believe, 8th or so. Volkan was at 6th. But Blachowicz is sitting at 5, and he's coming off of a loss, I believe. Where do you think this should put you?
Right around 5.
So this is a top 5. You believe you're a top 5 light heavyweight now?
Yes.
Now, obviously, the question's going to be what that means, because you've got Cormier sitting at 1, but I don't know if he's going to fight light heavyweight again. So that's kind of out of the window. Gustafson's got a fight coming up against Anthony Smith. Jon Jones is looking for someone. That next one down is going to be Thiago Santos. And then if you got into the top 5, you'd only be separated by Anthony Smith. So the question is as follows. It's a long-winded way of asking it. How far do you think you are from a title shot given your current trajectory?
So I feel I need another fighter in my belt before I fight Jon. So maybe one, 2 more, and we're dancing.
Did you watch his last fight against Smith?
I did.
What'd you make of it?
I did. Championship performance, man. I mean, he's a champ for a reason. He has great game plan, and he did his thing. It was just classic Jon, neutralizing the opponent and getting the win.
Have you at all thought about what it might be like to fight him, both A, in terms of the pressure, and then B, the actual task of it?
Yeah, I've thought of it before. But that's something like you don't really think too hard on it until you get there. I've when I first came into MMA, it was always, trained to beat Jon. I'd do everything right so you could beat Jon when you do fight him. So I think when the time comes, I'll be ready. I know it's coming soon, so I'm getting there, man.
Yeah, you certainly are. I mean, the good news is you're well on your way. The question is, I don't think you're very far at this point. So I guess, like, in looking at when people are fighting him, what do you notice about how, or I should say, why they lose? Okay, yes, Jon's very good, but is there any common thread?
I think the common thread would be people kind of get in their own heads and let Jon dictate the pace of the fight, as opposed to just throwing caution to the wind. Or, I feel Gus did it best with his movement and his, avoiding those knee kicks and the awkward, Jon puts you in awkward situations. He'll make you do things that you're not as comfortable doing, but he'll put you there. And I think it's about being comfortable, being uncomfortable against Jon.
How much of a learning process was this? Yeah, no, it does. How much of a learning process was this towards that end?
Oh, it was huge. It was huge, man. I mean, I got to go 3 rounds, octagon time is invaluable. Getting that time in there. And, mid-fight, I decided I'm going to win this fight. And if I get knocked out, I get knocked out. Like, that was part of it. I grew mid-fight. And I know without a doubt my cardio will hold up. I was pushing it throughout, and I just felt like I was getting stronger. And then in terms of game planning, doing what I want to do, I mean, this was a good experience because I didn't do exactly what I wanted to do in this fight, and I recognized what happened and then how to address it going forward. So it's like one of those, like, I'm not going to just worry about my opponent only, like never again thing. Like, it's about me going forward.
That's interesting, the choice you made. I've heard other athletes say that kind of thing. So then let me ask you this way. If you said that to yourself halfway through and that's what propelled you to victory, that's amazing. What were you telling yourself when the fight started?
It was similar, and there was a moment where I had him in the first round. I got his timing. I was like, I got you. And then I was going to start doing my thing, and then I didn't. And I can't explain why or what happened, but I I felt like he was going to counter me with everything I was doing. I had his timing, but it felt like he had mine.
Huh. So when you hear people say, like, in a fight where they just weren't themselves, maybe you've never had that before, but maybe now you can understand what they at least mean.
I could definitely relate. I could definitely relate.
So
yeah.
like when you told yourself, okay, no, F this. I'm not going out like this. This is going to be my fight for the taking. Like, did you get a rush of energy? Was it a calm decision? What was it?
It was a little bit of both. It was like a rush, and then like I felt free. And then I was just going.
that ever happened to you when you play football or anything?
It has before. I think what happened was I got like, you think you stink, and I started thinking too much, and I just let go, and I said, just fight. You're great. Just do it. And I did.
Now, are you a guy that watches a lot of tape?
I am.
So this is so funny to me. Sometimes I talk to fighters and they're like, I can't watch enough tape. And then some are like, I don't watch any. And then some are kind of in between. On that spectrum, where are you?
I'm on the I watch a lot of tape side.
Now, do you think that maybe like, do you think maybe you want to change that? I mean, here, like, understand the nature of what I'm asking. I am not prescribing it to you, nor am I in a position to do so. But I'm wondering if this fight has you maybe reconsidering that.
No, not at all. It was just, I think it was just a growing opportunity for me mid-fight, and it was a growing opportunity as a fighter. Period, where, you know, I'm as equally as dangerous as any opponent I'm going to fight, and they have to worry about me just as much as I have to worry about them. So why worry about them so much?
How fast can you make a rebound if need be?
I think it's going to be a couple months, maybe 2 months or so.
Did UFC say anything to you about their plans this year?
No, I haven't talked to anybody yet. I've just kind of been staying low key and just enjoying my time out near London with my family.
All right, so that
anyone right now.
So then let's figure this out. You just got to. I mean, you're on this is an incredible win streak you're on. Again, you joined the UFC back in June of 2017. Since then, you've won all of your fights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Let's ask it this way. Let's say you get a title shot this year. Would you rather it be against Jon Jones, or as long as it's for the belt, it doesn't matter?
I'd rather it be against Jon. I would definitely rather be against Jon.
To be the guy that beats him?
Yes.
But you take a title shot no matter what, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yes, but I would love to be the guy. You know, it's not many times in your life are you get the opportunity to do something like that.
You ever cross paths in any of your previous athletic endeavors against like a super special athlete?
Somewhat. I mean, Josh Norman was in my conference. He was a very good athlete.
Washington Redskin.
Yeah. That's probably, I mean, yeah. NFL receivers, NFL cornerbacks. NFL cornerbacks, in my opinion, are the most athletic people on the planet. So, yeah.
Although Norman's a bit overpaid, if I do say so myself. But that's a separate reason. Well, look, man, I know you're with your family. I don't want to keep you. Look, it was not every win is the easiest or the prettiest, but the win streak is alive. You're still undefeated, and you're just continuing to climb these ranks. I appreciate your time, and enjoy London.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And, yeah, I'll be talking to you soon.